Hey guys, what's going on? As the title indicates, we are doing Death Rider in the Hopeness lab. He is my favorite hero in the game. Very versatile, used in every single base, basically, if you have him. So, this one's special to me as he's my favorite hero. So, hopefully you guys enjoy. Hopefully you learn something. You can take my combos if you want. You can just copy paste. Or take the knowledge that I'm sharing here. Think about it, sleep on it, and then apply it to your own situation. So, like I said, Death Rider, let's get right into it. So, first I am going to show you my Death Rider. Now, my Death Rider has gone through some different iterations in his lifetime. Really to kind of determine what the actual best Hopeness Lab skills are. And he was kind of, when this Hopeness Lab first came out and I was, trying to get all this knowledge, all this information, he was sort of my guinea pig. So currently I have skill damage plus 10, greed, might plus 30, and group technical might plus 15. So I do have a kind of a varied array of things. Now, at one point in time, the original iteration of my Death Rider was all resistance and tactical resistance. Every single thing, and then I had greed as well. So it was like tactical resistance, resistance, and resistance. I switched it all up to might, so everything was just might or tactical might. I switched it to skill damage, as we've seen here, and I've kind of just bounced around. What I will say is that Death Rider is one of those heroes where it literally doesn't matter. So whether or not you have 30 resistance or 30 might, it's still going to be a big benefit for this character. So it's just always going to be a good thing. Any stat on Death Rider is a good stat, because Death Rider is just so good, and he doesn't necessarily need these, increments to win. If he's going to win, he's going to win, and if he's going to lose, he was going to lose anyway. I know that might sound like a little weird, like what are you talking about? It doesn't really matter, but maybe you understand. So what that means is, what abilities should you go? Well, obviously, might plus 30 is going to be a great option. Death Rider does a lot of damage. That's sort of his intention. But resistance is still good because he stays alive longer, allowing him to do more damage and take less damage. So resistance is a win-win, and I think a lot of people neglect that. A lot of people just think, oh, just stack might. Which, yes, I mean, you can certainly do that, but they'll completely ignore resistance. On somebody like Death Rider, you can take resistance, even though, yes, he is a damage dealer. Same with HP. You can, but it's not going to be as good as either of these two options. Tactical might is never as good as might in any scenario. Tactical resistance is essentially the exact same as resistance, so take it. I'm coming back to tactical might. I would, in fact, take tactical might, but it's just always going to be dwarfed by regular might. Damage plus 5 is an option, but it's not a great option. But it exists. Yeah, it's fine. I would take it. Skip the sieges, skip the counters, skip normal attack damage plus 10. Skill damage plus 10 is okay, but it might plus 30 and even technical might plus 30 seem to do a lot more than skill damage. Even regular damage plus 5, for whatever reason, seems to do a lot more than skill damage. I will remind you guys that the combat formulas in this game, percentages are not realistic. So it doesn't mean if you do 2,000 damage on a skill, and then you get skill damage plus 10, it is not going to do 2,200 damage. That's simply not how it works. It's a massive formula, and every piece in here is multiplied by random numbers and all conglomerated together. So even though this is damage plus 5 and this is skill damage plus 10, the damage is actually going to be a little bit better. Group might, great option. Group resistance, great option. Group tactical might, great option. And group tactical resistance, great option. So he really, really has like a lot of options. You can take almost half of the abilities for his basic abilities. Interestingly enough, for his advanced abilities, there are also a ton of options. So I will show you guys my... he must be chilling in my defense queue. I will show you guys my Death Rider, here he is. I guess this is kind of a convoluted way of showing him. I could have just gone to heroes. Here's my Death Rider. Here is his Hopeness Lab skills. Like I said, so I currently have Greed as an advanced ability. Greed basically just heals him when he deals damage, and that's just always a great option. But there are some other really good options. You'll see that he basically just does damage on every single ability. So, yeah. So, what are the other advanced abilities that I would take? Well, I would take Lucky 2. I would take Lucky 5. They're not going to be amazing. The trigger chance isn't huge, and it's not really going to sway the tides of battle. You might use one more skill anecdotally in a battle, but overall in 1,000 battles, it's not going to be that important for Death Rider. Toxic Erosion you can't even get. Strike Combo, don't take. Leadership, honestly, don't take. There are just much better options. Insight is not a good option. He doesn't get CC'd. Enhanced Counterattack is not an option. Enhanced Splash Damage, no. Self-Defense Instinct, no. He doesn't get CC'd. Temporary Preparedness is fine. It's definitely an option. It exists. Efficient Treatment is probably a no just because of the combos that he's in. So, generally, no. Unarmed Storm is a no. Attack Conversion is a yes, especially if it's gold. I would take it. You're gaining basically 25% skill damage or just 25 skill damage, and you're losing 10 normal attack damage, which is just a good trade. He does like 5 times the amount of skill kills as he does regular kills. Power Conversion is not a good option. Like I said, Greed is a great option. Hourglass is an okay option. It's fine. It's not going to be the best because it's only effective for 2 times. He does have a prep skill, so this does work on him, and you can certainly take it. Surprise Attack is fine, depending on the combo that you're running, but it's pretty low on the leaderboard that I would take. Yeah. That's all. Cover Bear, don't take Distance Strike. Generally don't take, almost always. Potential Unleashed is an option. It might not be the best option, but certainly if you come across a gold Potential Unleashed, you will take it. Back from the Store is a no. Full of Vigor is a yes for sure. It's one of the best options you can take on Death Rider. Preemptive Strike is honestly a fine option. Now I know that might sound a little weird. I'll come back to that in a minute. Elite Squad is a no. Reaper's Scythe is a no. Defensive Attack is a no. Endless Trial is also a no. Killer or Magician is a yes. And Auto Strike is a no. So coming back to Preemptive Strike. Preemptive Strike is an interesting one. So the reason why I say you can take Preemptive Strike is because oftentimes one of the ways to beat Death Rider combos is to just use the Death Rider combo. And it just becomes a toss-up. With Preemptive Strike, it's not really a toss-up. If you're on defense, you are going to attack first, which is a huge benefit. Whereas if you're on offense, generally you attack first, but if they have Preemptive Strike, then they are going to attack first. What attacking first gives you is you kill the enemy Death Rider's troops, or just the enemy squad's troops, and they'll deal less damage in return. So it's just a fantastic option on defense. However, it is pretty much useless. You're getting like 5% damage on offense. So keep that in mind. It does depend. There are some players, myself included, who rarely attack other people. 99% of my battles people are attacking me. Maybe not 99, but you know what? The vast majority of battles, 80%, I'm getting attacked. So it's a good option for somebody like me. There are other players who kind of just hit around. They jump. They hit, they don't really get attacked much, then this option's totally useless. And that this counts for almost every hero. So now let's talk about the preferences. So what are my Death Rider preferences for advanced abilities? Well, I will show you. Whoops. So, like I said, I think Greed is a great option. Death Rider does very consistent high damage, and he'll be able to heal himself, which in turn makes him deal more damage, keeps him alive. Greed is probably the best option you could have. So certainly take greed as one of your preferences. Tactical conversion is another good option. You're gaining like, what, 20, 25 skill damage, not enormous. Like I said, skill damage isn't that cool. Potential Unleashed is all right, but Death Rider doesn't suffer dying that much. You can take it, but it's not really going to be effective for the majority of the battle. And in the cases where it is effective, you're probably going to die. Full of Vigor, on the other hand, is a great option. He's going to be, he's going to keep alive for at least the first round, maybe first 2 rounds. Not alive, but he's going to be healthy for the first couple of rounds. And you're just going to gain a huge benefit, and you're going to deal more damage to them, which in turn makes you take less damage. So Full of Vigor is a great option. And then per usual, Killer or Magician. I just love Killer or Magician. I think it's a really, really good ability. It just gives you everything. It's incredibly consistent. It doesn't matter what combination he's in or what combination he's against. It's just going to be a really, really good option. Whereas something like Endless Trial, it does depend who's attacking you. Something like Efficient Treatment, it depends on what combinations you're in and things like that. So this is kind of what I would run: Greed, Full of Vigor, and Killer or Magician. However, there are a lot of good options on Death Rider. So finally, what would I run is basically a ton of stuff on Death Rider. So try it out, have fun, see what works best for you guys. For me, it doesn't really matter. As long as your advanced ability is good on Death Rider, he's going to be a pretty solid pick. So that's about it, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully your Death Riders will level up. That's the point of these. If you have any other hero that you want to see, please leave it in the comments. And, popular heroes I will do sooner than other heroes. So if you guys have a hero and you're like, I'm confused about so-and-so, let me know. That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon. I need to do it on my own, yeah.
Wake up, early mornings, late nights, hopping on a different flight. What's the meaning of life, ayy? Wake up, same-ish, different day. Make a wish, call it pray. Am I sick, am I okay, ayy? Stay up